We're heading to Nashville shortly, but first we hit the tables and play. I'm going to bring you along on the trip while in between making a few stops to dig into some of the hands played over the last few sessions. Looks to be a fairly loose aggressive game with weaker than average showdown hands. With that said, we are still unable to get involved due to the complete garbage hands being pitched our way. Until aces. There are two limpers. I raise to 12 in the hijack. Small blind calls for 11 more. The flop brings jack high with a deuce and a 6, rainbow. Small blind checks, I bet 15, and he calls. Turn is the 3 of diamonds completing the rainbow. Small blind again checks, and I bet 35. He again calls. River is a 7. He checks, and I go for all 3 streets of value, betting 60. He calls without much thought and shows us jack of clubs, 3 clubs for 2 pair. I'm now sure of my original assessment. This is a good game. After the aces were wiped out, we go quite a while without finding a good hand or a good spot to make a play. A couple of late position raises took down a few small pots, but other than that, nothing interesting has come about. Then, the 5-6 of diamonds arrives and suddenly looks like a premium to me. I've been folding quite a bit. This fact should be quite noticeable to even the least observant players, so I'll be able to represent a stronger holding than I actually have if necessary. We're under the gun, +2, and raised to 8. Late middle position player calls. A proven wild aggressive player in the cutoff 3 bets to 30. Now, I don't advocate making this call out of position with the added combinations of a dwindling stack and small suited connectors, but I'm stubborn about folding the 3 bets, especially against loose aggressive players. And I'm planning to make a statement if the right board flops. I call, and late middle calls as well. The flop is the 2 of diamonds, 4 of clubs, jack of diamonds, giving us a gut shot and a flush draw. Now, if I bet here and get called or raised, we're left in an awkward position, especially if we miss a turn. Check calling is also not a good option, so I choose full artillery and open shove our remaining 170 into the middle. As I said before, they should imagine my hand much stronger in this situation, and if we do get called, we most likely have 12 outs to make our hand by the river. First caller tanks for quite a while and finally folds. The wild player tanks for a few more seconds, releases his cards and says, "Queens, huh?" And I give a nod as if impressed that he has a good read. My philosophy is any day that you can take down a pot with 6 high is a good day.
And I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Welcome to San Francisco International Airport.
And I see skies of blue and clouds of white.
We're on a layover in San Francisco, so let's jump into another hand history before getting back into the air. There are 5 limpers to us on the button with ace clubs, king of hearts. I raise to 15. The blinds fold and 3 of the limpers call, one being the same loose aggressive player from the last hand. The flop is the ace of diamonds, 8 of spades, jack of spades. The action is check to me. This is a fairly draw-heavy board with multiple straight draws and the spades, so I size my bet up to nearly pot size, making it 50 to go. The loose aggressive player calls, and the turn is an offsuit 6, improving additional draws if he happens to be in there with the 5-7 or 7-9 of spades. He checks. The pot is about 160 and we have 200 left behind. And once again, I elect to put it all in the middle. He thinks about it for a few seconds and says, call. I'm not sure what we need to fade on the river, but I'm not thrilled when I see the 10 of spades hit, as it completes multiple draws and we can no longer beat even ace-10. I nearly expect to lose the pot at this point. I turn over the ace-king, and he winces and tosses his cards into the muck. If
there's anything at all there we can do to make your flight more enjoyable, let us know. Sit back, relax, enjoy the 3-hour and 45-minute flight.
It's a long flight, so another poker hand is in order. We are under the gun +1 with ace-jack of hearts and raised to 8. There are 2 middle position callers, then the big blind 3 bets to 35. Though this appears to be a good spot for a squeeze play, I do not sense that that's what this is. Still, in general, I don't make a habit of folding to 3 bets pre-flop, the whole stubborn thing and all. I call and we're heads up to the flop of ace of spades, king of spades, 9 of hearts. Our opponent bets 40. I believe he's strong here, yet we've now made top pair and I'm not ready to give up just yet. We call to see the turn bring a 6 of hearts. He bets 80. At this stage, a few thoughts are racing through my mind. First, our ace is definitely no good. Second, I'm thinking we're up against at least ace-king, so making trips or 2-pair probably won't help our situation. Lastly, that second heart on the turn, giving us a backdoor nut flush draw, is barely noticeable. If we pull another heart that doesn't pair the board on the river, I think we'll most likely get a full double up. So now, it's a matter of deciding if the odds are worth it. I imagine we only have a 17 to 20% chance of winning this. There's about 250 in the middle and we have to call 80, giving us just over 3 to 1 from the current pot. I'll have approximately 320 behind after this call, offering additional 4 to 1 for a total of 7 to 1. And those are better odds than the 5 or 6 to 1 that we need. I call, and magic happens on the river when the seemingly innocent 4 of hearts comes in. Our opponent bets 250. I announce that I'm all in for whatever amount I have over that bet, and he calls just over 60 more, and we show the bad news. And it was indeed necessary to get that lucky, as he shows kings in the hole for a flop set.
Welcome to Nashville. Please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the aircraft comes to a complete stop at the gate and the seatbelt sign has been turned off. We hope you enjoyed your experience and we look forward to seeing you again soon.
And I think to myself,
Bye.